Student engagement and motivation. Motivation and engagement in the classroom can be an enduring challenge for teachers. Why? Because students may not see a purpose in their learning, they may not understand content, or tasks may be repetitive. What is student engagement? Student engagement is an external process. It puts energy into action and involves active participation in the classroom. Just because a student may not be disrupting the class, it does not mean that they are engaged. There are 5 levels of engagement. The lowest level is rebellion, which is when a student's attention is focused elsewhere, causing them to act out and have no commitment to their learning. Next, there's retreatism, when a student gives no attention at all and is not committed to their learning. These students are usually caught daydreaming in class. Then there's ritual compliance, which is when a student pays some attention to the lesson, but only so that they can do the bare minimum required of them. They have a low commitment. Strategic compliance is where a student may pay high attention to the lesson, but is still not intrinsically committed to their learning. They are mostly worried about their grades, class rank, or avoiding parent disapproval. Lastly, the highest level is engagement. This is when a student is paying high attention and has a high commitment for their learning. Engaged students are those who choose to learn and broaden their learning experiences. As educators, we should be striving for this top level of engagement. Engagement can be key to motivating students. But what is student motivation? Student motivation is an internal process that links emotion to action. It usually directs and maintains student behaviour. So we know that if a student is motivated in the classroom, it means that they are making a mental effort to physically achieve learning outcomes and fulfill their academic potential. Awesome! The best motivator for students are rewards like lollies and certificates, right? Well, no, not always. See, there are 2 different types of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation stems from internal factors like curiosity, satisfaction, and excitement. Extrinsic motivation comes from external rewards such as awards, lollies, and praise. And whilst extrinsic motivation may seem like the easiest, most effective way to motivate students, there are many people out there who think otherwise. People like Daniel Pink believe that rewards narrow our focus and concentrate our mind, thus limiting our creativity in tasks. This is great for simple tasks, but as 21st century educators, we need to understand the nature of our 21st century learners. The classroom is no longer just an environment for information overload, it is an active, dynamic learning space. Pink suggests that there are 3 key intrinsic motivators: purpose, autonomy, and mastery. These are the building blocks of an entirely new operating system, of an entirely new learning system. But how can we, as educators, motivate our students? It's that magic word beginning with E: engagement. If a student feels a sense of belonging in the classroom, they are more likely to engage with class tasks, and the best way to create this environment is to connect with the student's learning experience. Engagement entails empowering students to speak freely, be presented with challenges, and explore their own individual thinking as well as the thinking of others. A beneficial way to plan for engagement in the classroom is the use of formative assessment. Formative assessment offers an opportunity for students to demonstrate what they gain from learning experiences. It can assist teachers in evaluating their teaching processes and pedagogies. Formative assessment presents less of a test and more of a process. There are numerous approaches to student motivation and engagement. Some may argue for the use of external rewards and punishment, or self-regulation and self-efficacy, or the importance of beliefs, emotions, and goal setting, or self-determination and self-actualization. I guess we just have to determine the value of each approach and weigh out their pros and their cons. Whilst there are many theorists with approaches to student motivation and engagement, Carol Dweck provides a key aspect to understanding student motivation. In her 2007 book, Mindset: The New Psychology of Success, Dweck introduced the concept of a growth mindset. First, let's look at what a fixed mindset is. A fixed mindset is when students hold the belief that their intelligence, talents, and basic abilities are just fixed traits, meaning they have no chance of exceeding beyond their talents. On the other hand, a growth mindset is when students believe in the development of their abilities through persisting in their learning and putting in effort. Dweck offers a very cognitive approach. Her research found that by praising students on their talents, they were less likely to fulfill their full potential. She argues that a student's performance can improve drastically if they were praised on their process of learning instead. Constantly challenging students to improve in their learning can open up their true capabilities. So how can educators help students on their journeys of learning? As we enter the 21st century, we can take advantage of technological developments for education. Using visualization to assist in describing complex ideas in the classroom can appeal to students' auditory and visual processing channels. It can also increase the chance of all students understanding their learning and thus broadening their potential. Game-based learning is an informal learning strategy that underpins students' interests, which engages their minds to connect their individual world with the world of learning. Differentiated instruction is another way to promote motivation and engagement in the classroom, as it provides opportunities for teachers to connect with their students and recognise diversity in learning. Overall, by maintaining a mixed balance between content-centred tasks and skill-based activities, individual work as well as collaborative, problem-solving scenarios and creative spaces, students are more likely to be motivated to engage with their learning opportunities.